Imagine this. America's most powerful billionaires, Mark Zuckerberg, Elon Musk, Sundar Pichai, throwing billions of dollars into shiny new apps, hyped up features, and desperate marketing campaigns, all with one goal: crush TikTok. Instagram Reels, born out of panic. YouTube Shorts, a billion-dollar copycat. Snapchat Spotlight, a glittery money pit. And yet, here's the nightmare scenario. Nobody on Wall Street wants to say out loud, what if TikTok comes back to the US? Market and still wins? That would mean Zuckerberg spent billions just to create TikTok's fan club. Musk tried to reinvent video only to end up with memes and glitches. And YouTube paid influencers a fortune just to promote clips people didn't care about. Billions burned, egos shattered, and TikTok laughing all the way to the bank. The question is, are America's tech kings ready to admit they might lose a war they started? For years, Washington has treated TikTok like the unwanted guest at the American tech dinner table. Politicians labeled it a national security threat, hearings turned into viral comedy skits, and lawmakers swore the app would never return to US soil. But here's the twist. The ban isn't final. Behind closed doors, there's now serious negotiation, a deal that could allow TikTok back into the American market under heavy regulations, audits, or even partial US ownership. In other words, TikTok might walk right back in through the front door, smiling, while Silicon Valley's billionaires are still sweeping up the ashes of their expensive experiments. Think about the billions already spent. Meta has poured over $10 billion annually into pushing Reels, tweaking algorithms, and bribing creators with bonuses. Google rolled out YouTube Shorts with enormous payouts for influencers, burning cash to look trendy. Even Elon Musk, never one to back down from chaos, has been testing longer and shorter videos on X, spending money on servers and marketing while praying someone actually watches. Snapchat tried Spotlight, shoveling money into contests to lure teens. Here's the real danger: advertising. Right now, Meta, Google, and others are pocketing billions in ad revenue thanks to TikTok's absence. But if TikTok re-enters, those ad dollars, the lifeblood of big tech, will start flowing back to ByteDance. Brands don't care about billionaire pride. They care about eyeballs and engagement. And TikTok's engagement makes Reels, Shorts, and X look like ghost towns. So here's the problem. If the deal goes through and TikTok reclaims its American audience, those billions turn into wasted war funds. Worse, big tech's billionaires will face a brutal reality. You can't outspend culture, and you definitely can't outspend where advertisers see value. Why would the richest men in America willingly burn billions of dollars chasing TikTok's shadow? The answer is both obvious and humiliating: fear. TikTok isn't just an app. It's cultural dominance. It dictates music charts, sells out products overnight, and even decides what your uncle in Kansas jokes about at Thanksgiving. Silicon Valley's billionaires are terrified that an app born in Beijing, nurtured in Singapore, and adored by Gen Z is eating their lunch in their own backyard. So they did what billionaires always do: throw money at the problem. Zuckerberg restructured Meta's entire roadmap around Reels, cannibalizing Facebook and Instagram features to keep up. The company spent over $10 billion annually on AI recommendations, creator bonuses, and marketing blitzes. Google followed suit with YouTube Shorts, paying creators insane amounts just to post 30-second videos. Snapchat launched Spotlight and practically begged teens to care. Even Musk jumped in, despite X already being a chaotic dumpster fire, dumping millions into video hosting upgrades while pitching a creator-friendly future. And yet, despite the fire hose of cash, none of these clones stick the way TikTok does. Why? Because TikTok's secret weapon isn't technology, it's culture. The algorithm is good, yes, but what really keeps users hooked is the community, inside jokes, micro trends, and the feeling that you're part of a living, breathing conversation. YouTube feels corporate. Instagram feels forced. X feels like a group chat that drank too much Red Bull. TikTok feels like the world stage, where anyone can go viral overnight. That can't be replicated, no matter how many billions you light on fire. And here's the kicker. Advertising dollars follow culture. Marketers don't care if Zuckerberg's ego is bruised. They go where users spend their time. If TikTok returns, ad budgets that Meta and Google clawed in during TikTok's absence will bleed back to ByteDance. Imagine the humiliation of explaining to investors that you not only lost users, but also handed advertisers back to the very rival you swore was finished. In trying so hard to kill TikTok, these billionaires revealed their own weakness. Money builds platforms, but culture builds loyalty. Silicon Valley can outspend any rival, but they can't manufacture the raw chaos and creativity that Gen Z breathes on TikTok. It's like watching billionaires buy guitars, hire coaches, and rent stadiums, only to realize they still can't play rock and roll. The brutal reality? If the deal allows TikTok back into the US, these billionaires won't just lose money, they'll lose face. Investors will question their judgment. Politicians will mock them. And most painful of all, their kids will still prefer scrolling TikTok instead of dad's billion-dollar knockoff app. So, what happens if the deal is signed and TikTok storms back into the US market? Picture this. Overnight, millions of Gen Z and millennials re-download the app, creators abandon their side hustle on Reels or Shorts, and advertisers suddenly rediscover that TikTok is where culture actually happens. Meta's billions spent on AI upgrades, reduced to expensive band-aids, YouTube's creator fund, just a memory of wasted cash. Musk's X videos? Forgotten faster than one of his funding-secured tweets. The first ripple would be brutal investor backlash. Wall Street doesn't forgive wasted billions, and it especially doesn't forgive losing to the same rival twice. Stocks of Meta, Alphabet, and Snap could wobble and suddenly the narrative flips. Maybe big tech isn't invincible after all. The second consequence would be cultural humiliation. Imagine Zuckerberg testifying in Congress about innovation, only for every senator's intern to be scrolling TikTok while he speaks. Musk might rage post about algorithms, but his own users would be live streaming from TikTok and YouTube. It would quietly sink back into being a library for tutorials and cat videos, not the cultural epicenter it once dreamed of being. And the biggest blow? Advertising revenue. Billions in ad budgets will pour back into TikTok, draining the oxygen that keeps Reels, Shorts, and Spotlight alive. In business, losing culture is painful, but losing revenue is fatal. Here's the punchline. Billions of dollars can buy algorithms, servers, and marketing teams, but they can't buy authenticity. TikTok's potential return reminds us that culture is built bottom up, not top down. When ordinary people create, share, and laugh together, no billionaire can manufacture that magic with a fat checkbook. The lesson isn't just for Silicon Valley, it's for all of us. You can spend your life chasing trends, copying others, or throwing money at problems, but if you don't build something genuine, people will eventually walk away. And in business, advertisers are people too. They'll follow culture, not cash flow charts. Sometimes chaos, creativity, and honesty beat wealth and power. So, next time you see billionaires sweating bullets over TikTok, remember, they're learning the same lesson the hard way. So, here we are. Billionaires burned billions, built knockoff apps, and still might lose to a Chinese teenager lip-syncing in their bedroom. If that doesn't make you laugh, nothing will. The irony is delicious. Silicon Valley has all the money, all the brains, and all the power. Yet TikTok still has the memes. And memes, as it turns out, are stronger than money. So the next time you see a billionaire launch a TikTok killer, just grab some popcorn. Because history shows us that TikTok isn't dying, it's multiplying. If you enjoyed this breakdown of billionaires versus TikTok, hit that like button, share it with a friend, and subscribe for more stories where money, power, and absurdity collide. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next billionaire blunder.